We have nearly found the perfect campground. And I say nearly because we can't swim. There's Crocs. Yeah, he wouldn't. There's a shelf that actually drops off and it's quite deep at this bit. Even though you think it's clear, who knows? But this is Leichhardt Falls and we've come to the other side and we're just going to walk up to the falls simply because there's not much water left in it. You can't swim in the bottom because there's Crocs, and in the top of the little pools people are saying that it's pretty much dried up and that it's quite murky. So when we saw this spot and we didn't have to go putting our tyres down, camping on sand, people over there, a few people were bogged.
One gentleman had 3 kids, he was bogged. His son yelled at him and he put brakes on and got dug into the sand. So he was trying to get out.
So we thought we'd just come here and spend the rest of the day.
Look at this, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. We just drove, the road's just over there.
The rocks are pretty rough, but it's not. It's easily doable. Leichhardt Falls, about 50 k's south of Burketown, right up under the Gulf. I can go that way and down there.
Okay.
Or we can just go in here.
Yeah, we can go in here. Just sitting here, having afternoon tea, watching the birds flitter around, commenting how all the birds, like the cranes and the herrings and stuff, were not hanging around. And then we look over on that far side on the rock and there's a croc there. So that's quite interesting. John's going to send the drone over and maybe have a look. A group of Aboriginal kids came past and we said, are there crocs? And they looked at us and laughed and said, of course there's crocs. There's barramundi, there's crocs. And they were right. What a glorious morning. My gosh, look at those hawks already on the lookout for breakfast. And look at the river. Absolutely beautiful. When you come here, you immediately look at the waterfall, and how could you not? It's just beautiful. And then you notice all the hawks flying around, and then you go looking for crocs. And then finally, when things settle in, you start looking at the rock formations, and it's absolutely amazing to walk around it. And you just realise that in the wet season, all of this would be covered in water and would be running. And it goes all the way up there, and it's just solid, this rock. Must be so different during the wet season. So different. The sun's up now and it's just heating up. Look at the flowering on this bush. And so many little birds. A few larger birds. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but the waters are just teeming with insects everywhere because it's just all stagnant. Oh, look at this pool, just sitting on its own. This is just in the middle of the rock formations. But it does connect to that water where we saw the big croc. So probably not swimming in there, but pretty nonetheless. I'll keep going this way and see if I can get back to the van, which is over there. Could just spend hours. Well, I have just spent hours. You can tell all the birds' favourite places because you just come across these bits where there's lots of bird droppings. We actually have such a lovely spot. We've decided to stay for an extra night. I mean, it's free, it's spectacular, it's beautiful. The water's quite nice. The only thing is, after seeing that big croc, we actually moved the van back from the water. We thought there'd be just fresh waters here, but there is a big saltwater croc. They're saying, I don't feel comfortable. So we just moved out here. And to be honest, the reflection in the water, if there was something sitting in there underneath the edge of the water and they didn't have their little snout or eyes out, I would have no idea at all. But it's lovely watching all the little birds and stuff. Nothing has come in and out of that nest yet, but there's certainly lots of birds that have gone and checked it out and sat on top of it or near it. But no one's actually gone into it. So I don't know what might nest in there and whether it's wrong season or what's happened. We've climbed down the sand path and look how thick that top layer of rock is. Big boulders everywhere. And that's the evening light. Well, it's not evening, it's about 10 to 6. We're just going to walk over here and have a look.
We've got some competition.
Pardon?
We've got some competition on YouTube up there.
Yeah, some big YouTubers have just pulled in. I don't know who they are, you do.
They're exploring off the grid, I think they're called.
They got
two big trucks, multiple rooftop tents. They've got a Polaris four-wheel drive thing, plus one with looks like tank wheels on it. They're doing it pretty tough, those blokes.
Yeah, and cameramen everywhere with big cameras. Yeah. And then there's the last, but that's all right.
So if anybody's out there interested,
anybody wants to sponsor us, we'd definitely take money. Whew. That truck stinks. There are a lot of cattle on there. Keeping cool the croc way.
There we go.
So we're pretty secluded here. But it has been nice being down here and watching. The hawks are back up at it all day. That's all they do. But you managed to keep the drone up and not away from the hawks.
Yeah, I was watching them though. They were eyeballing it.
Yeah, we've heard a few people have lost drones here due to them attacking when they've been in their airspace. What you doing, Mr. Hal?
Sitting around looking at the view.
Oh, it's good.
These two blokes, Bob and Fred, haven't seen each other for a long time. They went and had a few drinks.
Oh, yeah.
After a few drinks, they had to go to the toilet each,
Right.
a slash. And they were just standing there, and Bob looks over and it happens to notices Fred's crank and goes, "Geez, you're well endowed."
What?
And Bob goes, "Yeah, I went over to Thailand. They got these enhancements. You make them bigger for $1,000. I went across and got one done." And he goes, "Shit, that's all right," Fred says. So Fred, next chance he gets, he flies over to Thailand.
Yeah.
And gets it done. And he comes about 6 months later, he runs into Bob again. He goes,
Right.
"Hey Bob, went over to Thailand and got the thing done, but you got ripped off. I only paid $500 for mine." He goes, "Can I have a look?" He goes, "Yeah, all right." So he looks at it and goes, he says, "It's pretty big, isn't it?" He says, "Oh, no wonder you only paid $500 for it. That's my old one."
Oh, shoot. Not my fault, just saying. Make no mistake, it is hot today and it's still hot this evening. We've just watched wild pigs walk across that ridge, but they were too quick for me to grab the camera. And we've lit the fire because we're going to do toasted sandwiches with my toasty maker that I haven't used for forever. I'm looking forward to it, and maybe a little bit of smoke from the fire might keep the bugs awake because they were quite persistent last night in and out of the van. Look at this, there's obviously big fish, very big fish in that river. Well, this is it for Leichhardt Falls. We've had a good 2 nights here. Would be even better if the crocs weren't in the water and you could swim over there. But we have discovered from talking to other people, we're camped on the rock. The rock is much cooler than camping on the sand here. And this was easy to get in and out. We've just left Leichhardt Falls, just came up the ridge, and we look over to our right and there's the morning glory clouds. They are actually like horizontal tubes where the wind shapes the clouds into becoming long tubes, and it's called the morning glory. It only happens certain times of the year.
I think sort of August to end of the year or something, I'm not sure, but apparently like up to 1,000 kilometres long, just like a big tunnel.
That was quite eerie, really, wasn't it?
Very weird.
And it just doesn't quite touch the horizon, so you get this bright spot where the sun comes through. As the morning glory disappears, we continue to head along this road. Not quite sure where it's going to bring us to, but I'll let you know when we get there. See you on the other side. Two nights here is enough for us.
I mean, there's not much you do here. It's nice to look at. You can't swim, but
you can swim at the top of the falls. There's some pools. There's very few pools left now, and there's some big family groups. So, of course, with the little kids, they spend all day in the pools, and they're happy to share. It just feels like you're intruding, and we don't want to be those people. But also, it's a long way to walk up to the top to the pools, and this rock and the sand is just hot. So by the time you get there and you have a swim and you cool, then you got to walk back across this and you're not so cool, and then we're back to the bucket again.